South Africa beat New Zealand in the 2023 Rugby World Cup to win their record 4th World Cup title. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly what they did right to achieve that feat. My name is Bryce Wilson, I'm a mental performance coach, and I'll be giving you a full mental breakdown of both teams during the match. To do this, I watched every post-match interview of both teams, and here's why the World Cup final went the way it did.
It's not just about the game on the field. You know, our country goes through such a lot, and we are that bearing hope that they have.
This is the secret to great teams. The South African players were united for a bigger purpose than just winning the game or a shiny trophy. When each member of the team is united for a singular purpose, teammates will be unselfish, they'll give more effort, and they'll concentrate harder to come through for the team. If they're not unified, team members might act more selfishly to add to their highlight reel. They might not push themselves to their absolute max, and they might make a few simple avoidable errors. Think about it. If you're playing for money or a trophy, how is your effort in that situation going to compare to if you're playing for your people, your country, or your history? And when the whole team is unified and on the same page, that's a powerful team.
As soon as we work together, all is possible.
Once you have that unifying purpose, then your team can accomplish anything because you're several individuals working as one team, which will always be stronger than one team working as several individuals.
To come up with the goods under all that pressure, and especially the route we had to take to win this World Cup, I think that shows us the refusal to be defeated.
The South Africans' path to even get to the World Cup final was the toughest of the whole tournament. They won by 1 point against France in the quarterfinal, 1 point against England in the semifinal, and now 1 point against New Zealand in the final. Every match has been close, and they've had to come from behind multiple times. The reason they've been able to do that is because of what he said, the refusal to lose. Everybody wants to win, but it's those who not only have a desire that they're running toward, but also fear and pain that they're running away from, who will be extremely dangerous. As we discussed earlier, they wanted to win the trophy for the South African people. This meant if they lost or played poorly, they let down the South African people. They let down all of South Africa. So not only did the whole team want to win, but the whole team also refused to lose and let down their people. And that's why they were able to close out all those tight games.
I don't think we really know what it meant. I think we're only going to find out when we go back and the videos we saw on social media and what the coaches showed us before the game. It's unbelievable.
This is a great exercise to really understand what your game means to other people. Sometimes as an athlete, we're so laser focused on our own performance that we can't really listen or watch the crowd or fans because that would distract us from the moment. And even before a game, consuming all that information will be distracting and add more pressure. But it's good at times to interact with your fans of what your team means to your supporters. You may not be representing your country in the World Cup, but it could be as simple as volunteering at an event as a team. One thing my college team did was volunteer at local charities and schools. This way we were interacting with kids and the people who might support us. And we got to actually see how our performance in a game impacts, encourages, and inspires others. You can even just ask friends and family to send you messages and videos of their support. That's something my family did for big games, and it helped me play 10 times harder because I wanted to make my supporters proud.
The experience that's been here before, they've been in a World Cup final before, some of them have played their 3rd World Cup now, so I think the experience just pulled it through.
The advantage that the South Africans had was that since they won the last World Cup, many players on the team had already played in a World Cup final, and that prior experience was invaluable to knowing how to close out this game. This is why mindset is more important than technical or tactical ability, even if another team has better tactics or techniques. If your team has a stronger mindset or an ability to outsmart your opponent due to having the experience of already being there before, you'll still have the advantage over the other team. I think the South African and New Zealand players were evenly matched in terms of skill, but you could say the South African mindset is what gave them the edge.
The last World Cup, the country was hopeful that maybe there's a chance we can win it. And after we've won it, and what transpired after that was a belief behind this team.
One of the major advantages that experience gives you is the trust and belief that you can and will win. If you've never won a championship before, then it's hard to convince yourself that you're capable of doing so. But once you have, now you have the full belief that you can, and that will propel you towards doing so. Roger Bannister is the man who broke the 4-minute mile barrier, and he did so because he had the full belief that he could. Other people now believed it was possible, mere months after he smashed that initial mental barrier. Increase your belief by trying and achieving feats you never thought were possible. After you accomplish something that you thought was impossible once, now you can carry that belief to other challenges.
And I have my own reasons to play rugby. I have my own goals and ambitions. I want to look after my family. I want to make sure I give back to my community because without them, I wouldn't be here. Some are playing for the parents who are not here with us anymore. But what brings us together is our country.
It's important to have a personal why, which is why you want to achieve a certain goal. His why is to provide for his family and community. But while on the team, you also have to determine a team why or purpose. Their why as a team was to work together to inspire the whole of South Africa. As you can see, if every member of the team has their own personal why, and then they also have a collective team why, they'll never be short of motivation and drive to accomplish a goal.
We're not saying we're going to win all the time, but we promise you we'll give it everything.
This guy has an incredible mindset. This is another element of focusing on what's in your control. He wasn't focused on winning, although that's obviously the objective. He was solely focused on giving the best that he had. Not only are you more likely to win, but even if you lose, your fans and country will be proud and inspired by how you played. Inspire others, not just by a result, but by the effort and tenacity that you displayed in your performance.
Great things are never achieved in ideal conditions.
This is why you should be thankful for struggles in a difficult journey, because it will make the victory even sweeter. The fact that the South Africans beat each of their last 3 teams by 1 point will make this go down as one of the most thrilling World Cups in a while, and will likely be remembered for a long time. Have this perspective when obstacles and difficulties come your way, that these hardships only make the journey a better story, and the end result an even more incredible experience than if it was just a smooth road to the top. Competing in and finishing games in tight pressure moments is all mental.
I think it shows the resilience of this team and the whole South Africa as well.
One thing that helped the South Africans was the struggle they've been through in their country. Although it's unfortunate to have that experience and upbringing, they use the lessons that they've learned from all the obstacles that they've overcome just to get here. Even if it was off the field difficulties, whether in school or just in the hardships of life. Sports mirror life. So whatever mentality and lessons that they learned off the field, they're able to transfer to the field and be resilient in the face of adversity. This is why you have to see the value of everything that happens to you. While you may think that coming from an impoverished background would give you a disadvantage over players who might have had resources since they were young, in reality, that only means that they didn't develop the resiliency, the creativity, and the drive that you have. Whatever happens in your life, try to gain value from it and use the lessons learned towards your next obstacle, whether in sports or in life.
The referee wasn't good with some bad decision against France. What do you think about it?
All we can do is play rugby. I mean, we can't control what decision the ref makes. I've never discredited the ref, and I'll never do that.
This is essential to the winner's mindset. There are so many things outside of your control. The refs, the weather, the field, your opponent, the crowd. And if you focus on those things, you'll be left with unhelpful emotions, such as nervousness, frustration, or even overconfidence. And while there are a relatively small amount of things in your control, such as your effort, communication, body language, execution, if you focus on what's in your control, this will bring you confidence and make the biggest difference on the field. And if you want to see why this mindset is so important, here's France, a team they beat in the quarterfinals of the tournament, and here's their perspective on the refs.
Choses claires et évidentes qui sont faciles à siffler, qui l'ont pas été. Je sais pas si le match il se perd à ce moment-là, mais dans les moments cruciaux, on aurait pu avoir cette pénalité de faire les grilles qui râlent sur l'arbitrage parce qu'il a perdu le match, mais je suis pas sûr que l'arbitrage ait été au niveau de l'enjeu aujourd'hui.
He's focused on the ref's mistakes rather than his own. Trust me, in the span of the game, you and your team will make far more mistakes than the ref. Yes, the ref might make some bad decisions in crucial moments of the game, but I bet if you made 0 mistakes, you'd win the game even with a bad ref. That's why it's more helpful to focus on fixing your mistakes, which are in your control, rather than being frustrated by the ref's mistakes, which are out of your control. Here's how New Zealand responded to the ref mistakes.
I hate to point fingers. Ultimately, you know, he's a world-class referee, and sometimes it's going to be tough to make some big calls, but we had plenty of opportunities out there tonight.
And so there's a few issues there. One is you look at the decision and think, okay, well, it is what it is. We can't control that. Look, I'm not here to discuss whether it's right, wrong, or what happened. It can't be changed.
They had a good mindset on the refereeing situation. Of course, you could tell that he was disappointed by what could have been a referee error, but he took ownership and said that they had plenty of opportunities and made mistakes as well, so they couldn't blame the ref, which is out of their control. This is a great perspective and likely one of the major reasons that they made it all the way to the World Cup final, even if they didn't win in the end.
To go down to that red card so early, you know, to fight our way back and really give ourselves a chance of winning that game was pretty special. So, you know, I can't ask much more out of what we did. We put everything on the park.
New Zealand went down a player after a red card early in the game, yet they fought back and made it a close competition. This coach has a great perspective on the referees as well. He didn't complain or make excuses and just stated that his team gave everything they had, and that's all he could ask for. In the end, if you know in your heart that you gave everything you had during your competition, in the long run, looking back, you can't be too mad at losing the competition. And once the emotion subsides, they'll be proud of what they accomplished.
Got to hand it to South Africa. You know, they are a quality team.
Well done to South Africa.
Another great act of sportsmanship. Even just minutes after a heartbreaking loss, he takes the time to congratulate their opponent and give credit where it's due. It's acts of respect like these that pay dividends in the long run. And I wouldn't be surprised to see New Zealand back at the World Cup final very soon. But that's why I think South Africa won. Why do you think they won?